So, hello guys and girls. I am Dr. OMKAR'S and I welcome you all back to my channel, and today's video is going to be about the revision program for FMGE December 2021 session. I know each one of you have been really working hard throughout this phase, but now this is the last phase of your long race, and as the sprinter sprints up in the last lap, you also need to gear up now in this last phase of your journey. So first of all, talking about the duration that you need to gradually increase the duration that you spend on studying. Okay, so you need to definitely increase the duration you spend on studying right now at this particular point of time. Make up your mind, increase it day by day to almost 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay, so minimum recommended duration from my side would be 10 to 12 hours per day, because that's the need of the hour. Take breaks if necessary, okay, but make most out of your time. That's most important, because time is really precious. So once you make up the mindset, then we need to move on to prepare a proper revision plan or a schedule for all of you. As I've always said, that the revision plan you shall make according to yourself, okay, considering all your strengths and weaknesses, and most importantly considering the current stance of yours, that is the current situation in which you are in right now. Okay, so you can surely take this one as a reference, okay, as I have always said, but please remember you need to modify it according to yourself. Okay, so please remember, don't forget to modify this plan accordingly. If you are left with any subject, first give preference to complete all your subjects. First preference before starting the revision should be completing all the subjects. Alongside, you can plan your revision definitely. As I said in an earlier video of study plan, that you need to finish your first reading by almost 15th of October. 5 days here and there more or less are absolutely fine. At least if you have read the notes even just after the classes, that can also be counted as the first reading. Okay, that can also be considered, don't worry about that. Then now these days, if we count from 15th of October onwards till the examination, usually the total duration that we'll have in hands for our revision would be 60 days. Okay, the total duration that we have is 60 days, out of which I will tell you to keep the last week of these 60 days, the last week definitely, that means from 5th of December onwards till the 11th of December, the last week before the examinations, it should only and only be kept for your grand tests. Okay, when you will attempt at least minimum of 3 grand tests, plus there should be revision of the major subjects, and by revision of these major subjects I mean only the important and the highlighted points from these major subjects like medicine, surgery, PSM, OBG, ENT and Opthal. Along with that, definitely you will spend this time reading some important one-liners, and lastly, and the most important thing that you will do in this last week of the examination, that would be all the previous year questions. Okay, so all previous year questions you need to attempt in the last phase of the examination itself. So taking that into consideration, now we have almost 50 days in hand. Okay, so now just if we leave behind this last week, we have almost 50 to 52 days almost in hand, in which I'll recommend you to plan minimum of 2 revisions. Okay, so the total number or the minimum number of revisions that I would recommend are 2, but if someone is too fast that can manage 3 revisions, you can definitely go ahead without a doubt, but I'll still recommend 2 proper revisions. Okay, by proper revisions I do not mean just glancing through your notes. Okay, you need to go through your notes thoroughly and properly. So if I talk about the first revision, you shall read all your notes properly. Okay, you shall read all your notes properly, because you need to develop a photographic memory of your notes. Also, if you attend any chanting or revision classes, it's recommended from my side to carry your notes along with you. to carry your notes along with you in those revision or chanting classes, and most importantly you need to highlight the points that were discussed over there, because those would be the most high yielding or the most important points or commonly repeated ones. So that will definitely help you narrow down your notes first of all, and second thing, you will get everything at a one single place, so you don't need to look for multiple sources. So बाद में जो होता है ना, towards the end of the examination you will not look for like different sources at that point of time. Your notes will have everything in a concise and a narrowed down manner where you can revise it properly. Okay, now the second revision, if I talk about, it should be a concised one. It should be a concised one wherein you will mainly focus on the important points. Okay, the important highlighted points that you have already marked in the first revision, on those points you will merely focus in the second revision itself, right? So this is about the first and the second revision plan. Now talking about the actual schedule of your revisions, if I talk about, this is the schedule that I will prefer, but definitely some major or minor changes can be done according to you, because I have already told you that you need to modify this plan according to your schedule as well. So now if I talk about different subjects, first of all talking about the paper 1 subjects mainly. So if I talk about anatomy, you need to devote 1.5 day for anatomy in the first revision. Then talking about physiology, you need to devote again 1.5 day. For pathology you need to devote 2 days, because it makes up the basis for your medicine. Next, biochemistry, you need to devote again 1.5 day. Pharmacology 1.5 day. Microbiology 2 days, yes, because it is very much important from PSM as well as medicine point of view. Next, if I talk about PSM, definitely as it is a major subject, 3 days are required for the revision in the first phase. Second is your FMT, that is forensic medicine and toxicology. It only requires 1 day for a proper revision of FMT. And so this was all about your first paper subjects. Now if I talk about the most important subject, that is medicine, and most of us fear about that how medicine can be properly revised. So please remember guys, in the first revision you need to devote 4 days for medicine revision. 4 days for medicine revision are recommended from my side in the first phase itself. Then talking about the other paper 2 subjects, those are again important. First is your surgery. Surgery will require 3 days in the first revision. OBG, obstetrics and gynecology, again will require 3 days. Then ENT and ophthalmology, both of these subjects will require 1.5 day each. Psychiatry will require 1 day. Anesthesia has the shortest notes possible, therefore it will only require half day to revise anesthesia properly. Next is your orthopedics. Orthopedics requires 1 day. Radiology requires 1 day. Pediatrics usually takes 1.5 day to revise, and dermatology takes 1 day. Okay, definitely guys, I know some of you will have more notes for anesthesia, less number of notes for dermatology. Okay, that varies person to person, institute to institute, and platforms to platform. Okay, so that is totally your point of view, that how much time you will devote according to the number of pages that you have in your notes. Okay, so definitely the content what you have, accordingly you will need to revise this plan. So the first revision that we actually saw, that makes up a total of 33 days. So please remember, the first revision should be of total 33 days out of the 52 days that we have in hand. Next, if I talk about the second revision guys, in the second revision anatomy should be completed within 1 day, physio within 1 day, pathology within 1 day, biochemistry within just half day, then pharmacology and microbiology within 1 day each, then PSM within 1.5 day, FMT within half day, medicine within 2 days. Second revision of surgery should be done within 1.5 day. For OBG again 1.5 day. For ENT and opthal 1 day each. For psychiatry, anesthesia, as these two are shorter subjects, again half day each. For orthopedics, radiology, again half day each, because most of the things would be overlapped. Next, pediatrics will require 1 day proper, and next last one is your dermatology, again half day for this minor subject. So this makes a total of 18 days in your second revision. So please remember, this makes a total of 51 days of your 2 revisions. Okay, so please remember, leaving behind the last week of your preparations, we totally had 50 to 52 days, out of which we have a plan of 51 days that is made for our first as well as our second revision. So this is about your schedule that you need to follow for your revision plan, because most of you were not able to make this up, so I am just helping you out in making up this schedule. So this is the schedule by which you can properly revise all the subject twice in a stipulated amount of time. So the second revision shall be a very rapid one, because you have already read that all the content earlier. Now you need to just focus on the most important points only. If I talk about that the second revision, this second revision can also be done from the rapid revision videos, because most of the queries are about these videos. So yes, definitely the second revision can be done from the rapid revision videos also, but from the same content. So if you are following any particular institute, I will recommend you to follow the same institute for your revisions program also. So don't go for the videos then, okay? So if you are following the platform since day one, then and then only I'll recommend you the rapid revision videos of that particular platform. Otherwise, if you are a student of some institute, definitely I'll recommend you to follow the same content which you have in your notes. So the revision should also be from your notes itself, from the either from the same faculty or from the same coaching institute. Don't you dare change the source for your revision purposes. You can also follow free chanting and revision sessions that I am taking offline at AFMG Institute. So offline, they are being conducted at the AFMG classes near Green Park, Gautam Nagar, first thing, and also they are being conducted online, and these online sessions are usually conducted on YouTube Live on the AFMG YouTube channel known as AFMG India Global. Okay, so this is the AFMG YouTube channel on which you will get all the live as well as the recorded sessions of revision and chanting for the FMG December 2021 session. Next, the timings and topics of these sessions, all the chanting and revision sessions, they are being updated in the Telegram group of AFMG, and the Telegram group of AFMG is by the name AFMG for FMGE. Okay, so this is the name of the Telegram group in which you will all get the regular updates of all these chanting as well as revision sessions. In these sessions, usually we discuss the most important points, so you can just narrow down your notes further for your second revision, and once you start reading, you yourself will realize which are the most important topics and which are the high yielding ones. Okay, but we also help you in narrowing down your notes for your second revision itself in this chanting of the revision sessions. Now talking about a very important question, that is your MCQs. So your MCQs, you shall now increase the duration that you spend on solving your MCQs. I would recommend you to practice more and more number of MCQs in this last phase of your preparations, and at least I would also recommend you that give at least 2 mini mock tests. At least give 2 mini mock tests in a week. Okay, start with 1 mini mock test in a week and then move on to 2 mini mock tests in a week for sure. Okay, that will help you analyze your preparation for each and every subject. You can also attend any test and discussion program, but for that, then if you are following any test and discussion plan, the sequence of the schedule that I have already given you, that should be planned accordingly then. Okay, so the sequence should be planned according to your test and discussion series, first thing. Apart from that, the sequence of this schedule that I have given you, that can also be changed depending on which are your weaker subjects. So the weaker subjects should be planned first in the revision, followed by your stronger subjects, which should be planned usually at the end of your revision program. Okay, please remember this. Apart from this, guys, I also recommend you to give a grand test if you are not aware of your weaker and stronger subjects. So if you are not aware which are your weaker and which are your stronger subjects, I definitely recommend you to attempt a grand test at this point of time when you complete your first reading. So when you attempt this grand test, definitely you will come to a conclusion that which subject was the one in which you face the maximum difficulty, and you need to focus more on that subject in the revision program, right? So now with this, I will also talk about that in MCQ part, you will also need to increase the frequency of the MCQs. That is, you will need to practice more number of MCQs, and the recommended number right now would be 80 to 100 MCQs daily. Okay, so 80 to 100 MCQs daily should be practiced by each one of you, but with proper analysis. But with a proper analysis of each of the MCQs should be done at the end of the MCQ solving session. So you need to devote at least 2 hours. So you need to devote at least 2 hours of the total duration that you spend studying for solving your MCQs, and also focus mainly on the mistakes that you make while solving your MCQs, and also read all the explanations thoroughly, not only for the questions that you have marked wrong, also for the questions that you have marked right, because that will only and only help you build your concepts even more stronger, right? So mark the most important and the repeated questions. That is very much important. So in your notes you will mark the most important and the commonly repeated MCQs. Okay, that is very important to be marked, so that will help you recognize which are the most important topics. Moving further, if you are having any difficulty remembering a very important topic, okay, so these important topics which you find very difficult remembering, try to concise them in a tabulated form. Okay, try to concise them in a tabulated form, in a table. Try to concise them, and then stick this table in just front of you near the study table itself, and keep revising this subject and keep revising this table or the topic until and unless you are well versed with this topic. Then you can change definitely this paper when you are well versed with this particular topic that you are finding difficult, right? Now next, talking about your grand tests. I will always highly recommend that make grand test a part of your preparations, because grand tests are very much important, but most of us skip the grand test only and only because we feel that they'll make us anxious or nervous. Rather than, don't predict the outcome of your grand test. Okay, don't predict the outcome of your grand test. Like, grand test scores are definitely not the ones that are going to decide about your examination score. Okay, be optimistic and continue your preparation irrespective of your GT score. GTs are only given to just realize which subjects you are weak at and you need to focus more on. That is the only and only ultimate motto of attempting a grand test before the examinations. Okay, now apart from this, I have always recommended all of you that I will not recommend to compromise on the meals and sleep. Okay, I'll not recommend to compromise on your meals and sleep. I will recommend 7 hours of sleep maximum. 7 hours of sleep, that's enough. Spend time on breaks too in between studies, because that will refresh you, and definitely the attention span would also be better, because it's not always recommended to just study for long hours without understanding anything. Okay, so take enough breaks in between the study hours, so it will help you to stay on track, right? And have good meals, because that's the ultimate motto of life. Next, surround yourself with positivity, guys, and be sure that you are going to get through this phase of life, and very soon you will join your tribe in the hospitals. It always feels great to be a part of the team where your ultimate motto is to serve and save the lives. So get ready for it. You are about to reach that final destination, just the last lap yet to go. So on this note, I'll wind up this session, and I hope all of you will pass with flying colors, and this nation needs brilliant doctors like you. So all the very best, guys and girls. I'm eager to welcome you all on this side of the fence. Any question will be answered in the chat box, and for the last week preparations, I'll come up with a video in mostly in the last week or the first week of November, as I don't want you all to waste any time thinking about the future at this point of time. So let's meet in the next session, guys. Till then, goodbye and good luck. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button if you have liked the video, and don't forget to share it with your friends who will benefit from this session. Thank you so much. Let's meet you in the next session, guys. Till then, goodbye.